a pre-loved handbag at 10 different places, but only a few are really worth your money. Today, I'm revealing the best places to buy pre-loved designer goods versus places that I personally think are a bit of a scam. I'm sharing the best and worst investment pieces to buy used and just how you can shop a bit smarter. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know anything about me and you are new here, hey, hi, welcome. My name is Fortune and I am a self-proclaimed handbag addict. Now, unfortunately for me, I really love designer handbags. I have an array. If you're interested in seeing my collection in general, I will go ahead and link all of my handbag collection videos down below. But in today's video, we are going to be solely focused on designer bags that I purchased pre-loved. I have a total of, I believe, 6 here, but I have 7 that I can speak upon. One of them I did buy and I did sell, but we will touch upon it. I'm gonna cover all that it is you need to know. And by the end of this video, you'll know which bags to buy and which bags to avoid. There are a few rules, and I know we don't like rules. Being an Aries, I like to break rules, but I think that these rules will help you when buying a pre-loved bag. I always say, don't buy based on trends. Do me a favor, go in your closet, look at the handbags that you already own. Are you a tote girl? Are you a clutch girl? Do you like a shoulder bag? Do you like a crossbody bag? You really need to get a good sense. In my opinion, you know, you could do whatever you want. You don't need to do anything. I'm kind of like a bossy big sister on my channel, so I do apologize if I come off a little abrasive. You do you, boo. I'm just here to guide you. Figure out what handbag works best for your life before you go ahead and invest money in it. It's important to find a detailed unboxing video or styling video. You really see what the bag looks like when it's worn, and you get a better sense of what can fit inside of it. It really does help you envision, like, ooh, can I really see this in my life or not? Because I kid you not, 9 out of 10 times I will Google a bag, I will find an unboxing video or a styling video, I will watch a few of them, and then at the end of them, we'll decide like, this is just, it's not a bag for me. I got really excited, but it will not fit my lifestyle. I always say invest in classics. If you are just building upon your handbag collection, I think basics are great. A classic black bag, a dark brown bag, neutral basic tone. You kind of want to build out your handbag wardrobe to cover all the basics before then moving on to the more fun colors like yellows and patterns and logos and all of that kind of stuff. The condition of a handbag matters more than the rarity of a handbag. I bought a Fendi bag for myself for my 34th birthday, and we're gonna talk about it. But when I got it, the handle, the leather was peeling off of it. When I grabbed the leather handle, I had pieces of leather in my hand. Common condition issues that I think are important to highlight here. If there's corner wear, that's really not great in my opinion. I will never buy a pre-loved handbag that has corner wear. Strap wear, I'm not gonna buy it if the strap looks decrepit. Hardware scratches don't bother me so much. Chances are you're gonna get the bag and you're gonna scratch it up anyway. It gives me even more reason to wear the bag, like it's already scratched, why not continue to scratch it? If there are dents in it, if there's discoloration on the hardware, then that's a totally different conversation. And then stains on the inside or the outside. For me, I don't like any stains at all. If I had to choose where the stains are, I would rather them be inside the bag than outside the bag. If there are stains on the outside, the bag should be offered for a significantly lower price point. So if it is a very expensive bag and you're just dying to have it and you can deal with a little stain on the back, I totally get it. But if you're buying a more, you know, just like common secondhand bag that's not like a Chanel, oh my God, my heart is skipping for this Chanel. They have like this Midwestern collection that came out in 2014. The bags retail for like $25,000. If we were talking about that, like if I could get that Chanel bag with a stain on it for like $3 grand, I might do it. Really important to have proof of authenticity. I never buy any second pre-loved handbag, designer, anything if there is no guarantee that it is authentic. You know, we don't want to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a fake designer good. Why is a piece a good investment? And I think it's important, again, we kind of touched upon this before, but let's get down to the nitty gritty. Will I wear it and does it fit my lifestyle? I am 34, I have no plans to have any children. I like a shoulder bag. I don't like a crossbody bag. I personally think a shoulder bag is more elevated, more versatile in terms of like being able to wear it day to night, but that might not be the case for you. You might be a mom. I have a very good friend and she's a mother and she loves loves designer goods, but she loves a crossbody bag because a crossbody works for her lifestyle. She can put it across her, she can deal with her toddler, and she can do things, you know, without being restricted to a shoulder bag. Also, I think it's important to think about the seasons. Now, this is something that I recently discovered for myself, but while I love a shoulder bag, it's hard to wear a shoulder bag in the dead of winter when I'm wearing big, bulky puffer coats. You know, it doesn't stay on your shoulder, it tends to fall off. I do have a bag that is more versatile, that can be a crossbody bag or a shoulder bag. Is a crossbody bag my favorite bag? No, but it is nice to have it in my collection, especially in those cold winter months. Does it go with your wardrobe? Like if you're someone where you're dressing casually, I would think a more casual bag would fit in with your wardrobe better. You're not gonna get a fancy clutch, something bedazzled. Unless you want that pop of excitement. There are so many handbags that I love that are just fashion statements, but I'm also someone where the functionality matters to me. It can be beautiful and it can be intricate and it could just be like something that my heart flutters when I look at it, but if it's not functional, I personally find that I don't reach for it. What are we buying for? Are we buying for every day? Are we buying for special occasions? Because that really narrows down what kind of bag you need. Is the bag still sold in store? And if it is still sold in store, it's important to go on the company website and find out how much it retails for in the store. This is not pre-loved, okay, but I have a pre-loved story, so this is like pre-loved adjacent. I wanted this Speedy 30 for the longest time. I was looking on Poshmark, I was looking on Vestiaire, I was even looking on the Real, which we're gonna get into the best places to buy handbags in just a second. But I was looking at this bag and this bag was going for like $1,100, $1,200, and it doesn't retail for that much more at Louis Vuitton. That $400 difference isn't worth it for me to buy a pre-loved good, if that makes sense. If I were to go to Louis Vuitton, bring this home and try to wear it a couple times and it just didn't work out for me, I could go ahead and bring it to the store and get a refund. Whereas if you're getting things from Poshmark or you're getting things from the Real, most of the time it's non-refundable. So make sure you're going on the website, figuring out if it is still sold in stores and just doing your due diligence. Even if it's not sold in store, do your due diligence. Google, compare prices, look at bags that are comparable. If you're looking at a Speedy 30, I mean, granted it is sold in store, but let's for a second pretend that it's not. If you're looking at a Speedy 30 and you go on Vestiaire and you see one in excellent condition and it's at $2,000, and then you go on Fashionphile and you see one in excellent condition and it's $1,200, you know, just make sure that you know the ballpark range, knowing that you can get something in excellent condition at $800 less. Just do your research. Secondhand shopping and designer shopping in general, in my opinion, should never be spur of the moment, because the few times that it has been spur of the moment, it has been a regret, unfortunately for me. Avoid the too good to be true prices. If you see a Chanel bag for $400, chances are it's not a real Chanel bag. Best investment bags to buy pre-loved are really what is gonna work for your lifestyle. And I'm gonna highlight the ones that have worked for my lifestyle thus far, and I will highlight why and so on and so forth. So maybe you're thinking about any of these bags, this will reinforce your need for them, or maybe you'll decide that you don't really need them. And either way, that is what I'm here for. I'm here to be your guinea pig. Now, this, in my opinion, is one of the best bags that you can buy pre-loved. Fashionphile is my favorite website to buy designer goods from. I find that they are very honest in their description. If it smells, it will say that it smells. If there is wear and tear, it will say specifically where the wear and tear is, specific descriptions written, and also pictures. This is very pricey on Fendi. I will go ahead and put the prices, the retail prices of everything that is available on the screen. I knew that if I went to the store, one, it was going to be exponentially marked up. Two, I wasn't gonna be able to find this color. I have this leather Fendi Fendigraphy, and then I also have the cloth Fendi Fendigraphy that I bought full price. Okay, this I bought secondhand, and I love this one so much more. I just think it's really worth the money because it is leather. I love a more malleable bag. This is also something that you need to ask yourself. Do you like a structured bag or do you like a slouchy bag? I tend to lean towards soft leather. I like something that will mold to my body. Y'all know I like loud, gaudy things. I love that, you know, the bag is simple and the color is this beautiful kind of like taupey gray, almost like olive green. This really does it for me. This is also one of my best pre-loved handbag purchases. Now again, it's all about preference. Do you like studs? Do you like loud? I would not recommend someone buy this as like an everyday bag. I had been lusting over this bag. I think it was popular in like 2014, 2015. All of the influencers online had this. The Rock Stud line is my favorite line from Valentino. It's just so elegant. Something about the studs just adds that pop of sparkle. This does come with a crossbody strap. It is a chain strap. It is tucked away somewhere in my closet. I don't know where it is because the second that I received it, I took it off. I don't like a crossbody. It's not for me, and I don't like this bag as a crossbody. For me, this is just too elegant and elevated to be a crossbody. When I think crossbody, I think more laid back, not a laid back bag at all. I got her for like a quarter of the price. I love the pop of red inside. Compartment here. It has another little compartment on this side where I put my phone, but this retailed for a good $3,000 plus, and I ended up getting this for less than $1,000 on Fashionphile. The customer service there is excellent. I will say though, Fashionphile is more expensive than places like The RealReal because Fashionphile is more selective in the goods that they sell and the goods that they take in, which is why I like Fashionphile more. The RealReal, in my opinion, will take anything and everything. I purchased from The RealReal once and I will never purchase from The RealReal again. Some other investment bags that I personally think are the best that are on my wish list is the Chanel Classic Flap. I've always wanted one and I would definitely buy one used just because the price point of them is so expensive. I feel like the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is a good one to add to your wish list. Would normally say that that would be on my wish list because I love Louis Vuitton. I love anything monogram. I like loud, I like gaudy, I like obnoxious. But for me, I knew that the Louis Vuitton Neverfull was not a good investment piece for me because I used to have a tote bag by Michael Kors. It was like a Neverfull, okay? It had no zipper. It had one pocket on the inside. I just didn't feel safe with the fact that it wasn't zipped. I went on vacation one year and I took that as my carry-on. I lost my designer sunglasses because when I went through security, they fell out and I didn't notice and I had to contact TSA. I think the Neverfull is a great classic piece that you should get if you are interested in, if it works for your lifestyle, if you're someone where you go to work and that's just like a good work bag for you. It could never be a good work bag for me because I walk 1.5 miles to and from the office when I go in, and so I need a backpack because I don't want to look like this, you know, for the rest of my life. When I got a new job, I ended up buying the Goyard tote that has a zipper up top. I wore it for a year. I ended up selling it back to Poshmark. I bought it on Poshmark. That was my first designer piece that I ever bought on Poshmark. It came in pristine condition. Now Poshmark is a little tricky because Poshmark, you really need to rely on the seller to be truthful and honest. And I just got a new bag that I literally got from Poshmark a couple days ago. I opened it for the first time yesterday. We're gonna get there. And the seller was not as honest. When I bought the Goyard tote, the person who sold it to me, it was in pristine condition. They took great pictures, they were honest, and it was just such a good buy. But for me, the bag just didn't fit my lifestyle. Again, I was walking to and from work with it, and I was walking around like this with it breaking my shoulder. While it was a tote bag, it really could only hold my laptop, my wallet, and maybe my keys, and that was it. It was like, it's such a narrow bag, especially when it's zipped, that it just really did not enable me to carry all the things that I needed to carry to work. Whether you're going to the store and buying a new bag or you're buying something pre-loved and you can see the measurements, make sure that everything that you carry or plan to carry in that bag will fit in it. Because if it's not gonna fit in it, then the functionality just isn't there, and you're not gonna reach for it. A really good bag, and I'm so happy that I bought it. And to this day, it is one of my favorite bags. But this is the Gucci D-ring. This is a vintage bag. I bought this pre-loved on Poshmark. Again, the seller was immaculate. They told me everything that was wrong with it. It is really in pristine condition. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Perfect spring summer bag. I love the classic Gucci monogram print. It is timeless, it is effortless. To me, this is a neutral. It holds my phone, it holds my keys, my wallet. I have a little bag holder. This doesn't sit, it is cloth and it has no structure to it. I love browns, I love nudes. This goes really well with my wardrobe. This would look great with my outfit today. This was one of the best handbags I've bought pre-loved, definitely up there for me. And this is a vintage piece. I think I spent about $500 on this, which I thought was a steal. Again, with this, I did my market research. So I knew it wasn't in store. I went on various websites. I started on Fashionphile. They didn't have any of these. I found a lot of these on Poshmark. And when you go on Poshmark, make sure you're reading the description and make sure you are zooming into the photos. Ask questions. There's a comment section on each piece that is sold. Go in the comments. If there's no dimensions listed, never buy a handbag without knowing the dimensions. It could be too small or it could be too big. Also on Poshmark, you can kind of like bid with the seller, but just be warned that if you put in an offer on Poshmark, automatically is going to notify every single person that has liked that bag, letting them know that there is an offer that has been made on an item that they like, suggesting that if they are still interested in the bag, that they should then put an offer in on the bag. If you're putting in an offer for the bag, make sure that you are serious about the bag and make sure that you're putting in an offer where you have a little bit of wiggle room. The worst investment bags to buy pre-loved. Seasonal trend bags. So I think to myself, is this a trend and can this be a classic style for me forever? So I just think like trendy pieces are a little tricky, but if you are someone where it just matches your personality and when you see something you're like, oh my God, that is so me, then I think it's worth it. But if it's just trendy and hypey and you're just like excited about it, then I would think twice about it. There's this Miu Miu rainbow bag. It's like a crochet bag that everyone and their mother is lusting over and they're hard to find and Miu Miu no longer makes it. I found quite a few of them on Poshmark and I just thought to myself, like, do I really need this rainbow bag? Does this rainbow bag go with my aesthetic? I like colorful bags, but I kind of am more in the lane of like a solid color bag. So it's just like, take a second, think about it. Go in your closet, look at what you have. If you're looking at your closet and you're like, dear God, I need to buy a whole new wardrobe in order to make this handbag fit, that's a no for me, dog. Oversaturated styles. This one got me. I bought the Goyard bag because I work in New York City and I saw everyone and their mother walking around with a Goyard tote and I was like, I want a Goyard tote. I want to be a cool girl. I want to be an it girl. It wasn't me. It didn't really fit my lifestyle. It didn't really fit my aesthetic. It's a little preppy. I go to work in like cowboy boots. Sometimes you gotta remove yourself from the hype of it all and think like, is this a bag that I actually like? Is this a bag, again, that works with my wardrobe? And if it's a no, then it's a no. If I like something, I like it and I don't care who has it. But if I like something and everyone and their mother has it and I just stare at everyone else having it, it's kind of a turn off for me. High maintenance materials like white leather or suede are just a no. Like, just don't do it, girl. I think you're gonna regret it. Now, this is not a pre-loved bag, but I do wanna just mention this. I bought this full price. Again, it was spur of the moment and she looks so good with, oh, I should have worn her out. I should have worn her out today. YSL Lay 7. I believe it's called Barley Green, but she is a beautiful suede bag. I never wear her. I look at this and I think to myself, like, this is me in a handbag. It's hobo, it's designer, it's suede, it's like this beautiful like green, but also neutral shade. I love her, but again, I don't take her out because I'm so afraid of ruining her. And I have had my heart set on the smaller version of this in the solid leather, just like plain leather, in the color Red Danger. It is like the most beautiful neutral red shade. My heart flutters every time I see it, but I'm not gonna buy it. Don't buy the same handbag twice. Bags with fragile hardware or complicated closures. Bought this secondhand Fashionphile. This was like such a steal. I bought this for like $500 and it originally retailed for like $3,000 plus. It is very slouchy and I love a slouchy bag like we've already talked about. I don't really love structure, but I don't love that it's slouchy and it doesn't have a closure. Like, this is the closure and I never close it like this. And then when you put her down, like anything that's in there is gonna pop out. The hardware for me doesn't really work well with this because these dig into my shoulder. They dig into my hand. You can't just like throw this on your shoulder like that and call it a day. You have to make sure that the studs aren't digging into your arm. I also would steer clear of anything with lots of embellishments. Sadly, would never buy a beaded handbag because I have owned more affordable beaded handbags and the beads always fall off and they always break and then you're forever staring at that one section where the beads are missing. And also exotic leather bags. They are expensive. You have to really know what you're doing and you have to really know how to take care of them. So for that, it's just too high maintenance of a bag for me. Authenticity documents are so important. Now let's break it down. Poshmark, if you buy anything over $500, Poshmark will authenticate it for you. So let's show you the bag that that I just bought that I'm a little sourpuss about. This is a Fendi bag. It is vintage, and I bought this because I love this Gucci one so much, and red is my favorite like color to wear. Thank you for your purchase. Your item has passed inspection. It is Fendi. It was reviewed by SKD, which is the reviewer's initials. When you buy anything on Poshmark, if it's $500 plus, it gets sent to Poshmark, they review it, and then Poshmark then sends you the authenticated good. It takes a hot minute, okay? It took me almost 3 weeks to get this bag. I'm gonna use this bag to show you, again, what to look for. So number one is authenticity documents, which I have, but then also stamp codes and serial numbers. Now, if I open this, a serial number on the inside, the hardware condition on this isn't bad. It is a little faded, which I don't know if you can see. It's not a big deal, but that was not noted in the description of the bag. Now, the interior lining is a little upsetting to me because this was not disclosed. And to be quite frank, I probably would not have bought this item. I felt a little bamboozled. It has like little cracks in the leather on the inside. Now, this was not featured in any of the photos. This was not discussed in the description. That bothers me. I'm a little worried that it's gonna start cracking and then peeling, and I don't want a cracking, peeling bag. It's just not worth it to me. The stitching quality looks really good. You can tell that this is authentic. They're very much in line. The corners are great on this. There's no wear at all, which is wonderful. Strap. This has a little bit of, I don't know what you call that. It's kind of like a little wrinkly. It's not bad. It's not peeling. The seller also didn't disclose the fact that the zipper isn't really that great of a zipper. And also it's like faded a little bit around the zipper. Things that I'm a little upset about that weren't mentioned. But again, when you're dealing with sellers on Poshmark, it can be a little dicey. It could be a little tricky. Smell is important. This doesn't smell like anything, but sometimes they smell like mold. So just make sure you are reading the description. Now, granted, you don't know if something smells when you're reading it online. So I'm just hoping that whoever is selling it is telling you that it smells. And hopefully if it smells, they're saying what it smells like. So just be a little cautious. If it smells like perfume, it will wear out over time. Just be a little cautious, because sometimes with older bags, it can smell like molds because it might be a little moldy. Logo. So like this looks real to me, okay? A lot of the times if a bag is fake, it'll be like wonkily stitched. This is metal hardware. The best places to shop pre-loved. I think Poshmark is good. It is a little riskier, but I've gotten really good purchases from Poshmark, like my Gucci D-ring. My Goyard tote was in amazing condition that I sold, but I sold it because it just didn't fit my lifestyle. My Louis Vuitton pouch was in immaculate condition. I bought this on Poshmark. I don't use this enough. Not the best condition. It's not in bad condition, but for me, I just would have liked to have known what was wrong with it before purchasing it. My number one place to buy pre-loved goods, hands down, is Fashionphile. I bought this one on Fashionphile, this one on Fashionphile, Fendigraphy on Fashionphile. I also bought this on Fashionphile. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, Fashionphile is more particular with the things that they inherit. You're gonna find better quality goods, but it's gonna be more expensive. Inflation is this thing where things just keep getting more and more expensive. And it was a time in my life where I really wanted a Chanel bag, and I thought, if not now, girlfriend, when? But I bought her on Fashionphile. It said that she was scented, and she did for a very long time. It took a long time for the scent to go away, but it smelled like perfume, so I didn't feel bad about it. Now she smells like me. For me, this was a really good learning curve, that just because it's designer doesn't mean that it's right for you. I like that it has feet, but she's structured. I like a slouchier bag. I like a bag that's a little bit more effortless. This for me is a little bit too businesswoman. I like things that are a bit more like cool girl, laid back, slouchier, more relaxed. This just gives me like I should be wearing a blazer in Louboutins, and it's just really not my aesthetic. I did spend a lot of money, but I knew exactly what I was getting, and when I got her, I was not disappointed. It was just over time where I realized that I really wasn't gonna wear her so much, that I was a little disappointed, but that was my own fault for not doing my own due diligence. The worst place of all time is the Real. It's pretty controversial. I uploaded a video again for my birthday last year. I bought myself a Fendi, vintage Fendi, I think it's called a Boston bag. I will link the video where I unboxed it down below. The Real did not mention several things that were wrong with the bag. They did not mention that the handle leather was peeling, and they did not mention that it had a very strong smell. It smelled mildewy. It's just, I was so upset. And I actually opened it on camera on the day of my birthday, and I was so excited to bring it to dinner. Ended up leaving it home, and I contacted The RealReal right away. Customer service was great. They took it back without any issues. They gave me a full refund, but it was just such a terrible, sour taste that was left in my mouth that I will never buy from The RealReal again. Like I said in the beginning, The RealReal does take a lot more inventory in. They're not as particular as Fashionphile is, so just keep that in mind when you are shopping designer goods. I have not pulled the trigger in terms of eBay, so I cannot speak upon them, but if I were to buy off of eBay, click on the seller, read the seller reviews. If the seller has no reviews, personally for me, I'm not gonna buy from them. If they have rave reviews and everyone is so happy, then I will buy from them. I think a lot of what I said was very important. If you have any questions, like I said, leave it down below. Comment your favorite pre-loved bag down below in the comments. Do you have a bag you have your eye on? Are you interested in any of the bags that I have today? If you're not following me on TikTok, I would highly suggest you follow me on there because I do a lot of what's in my bags and I'm just a little bit more candid over there. So if you want to see like the more ratchet me, I will leave my profile down below. As always, if you're interested in luxury goods, so am I. So make sure that you subscribe and also click the bell button next to it. This way you get notification every time a new video goes live here on my channel. And would you like a more affordable version of this video? Like, do we want to see good dupes that I bought? Like, do you want to see my Laura Piana bag that I bought? Do you want to see my new Goyard dupe that I bought off of Schmick? Oh my god. Let your girl know. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I really, really hope to see you in my next one. Bye guys. Mwah.